Hello, I'm Mr. Plumber. Today we're going to remove a old house trap, which is how they used to do the plumbing drainage years ago. They used to run a whole house trap at the sewer main just before it exits the home. We're removing it because it's leaking and it let go. So it's no longer necessary, so instead of replacing it, we're just going to eliminate it with straight pipe. Here's the trap, and as you can see, I already made one cut here. Right there is where it's leaking, where the homeowner patched it, and I'm in the process of making another cut right here. And there's two ways to cut cast iron. One is with a chain cutter, also called a soil pipe cutter. And there's a couple of different styles of soil pipe cutters, but because of the space constraint here and the condition of this old cast iron, it isn't likely to hold up to the tension of the chain cutter and would actually just be crushed, and then I'd only end up having to replace more pipe. So that's why I'm cutting it with a Sawzall. And cast iron really only cuts with a 810 Sawzall blade. If you use a 614, it won't cut it. And the other thing is, speed is a factor. If you run the Sawzall too fast, all you do is cook the blade. So you have to throttle down the Sawzall a little bit to make the cut, and it cuts it a lot better. The way this cut right through, cut like butter. So that's a sure indication that it would not have held up through the chain cutter. Definitely would have just crushed it. Another key point I want to make out here is that when you cut any soil pipe stack, it's extremely critical that it be well supported. And over here, this hub is supported right on that rock. But if you look over here, this whole cast iron stack really has no support other than the shelf on the foundation wall. So for a temporary brace, I shoved a brick underneath to hold the weight, because once I cut this, all the weight will be coming down, and we don't want anything to shift here. I also jacked up, added additional bracing into this jack right here, just to hold it up for the repair. So I've completed the cut here, and the cut here is complete, so I'm just going to pull this right out. And there we go. Now it's as simple as replacing this piece from here to here. We're going to replace this. When we replace this piece, we're going to use these hubless clamps. They have a gasket in the middle, and they get torqued up to 60 pounds. So there'll be one on this end and one on that end with a piece of pipe in the middle. So I have the gaskets on, and they're peeled back on both sides. Because of the close proximity to the fittings on either side, I'm going to put these clamps on the actual pipe. So I'm going to take a measure here, right across these, cut a piece of pipe. Now this measurement, you don't want to be too tight because you'll never get the pipe in. So normally you deduct a 1/4 inch for each side. Okay, the measurement's 14 3/4. Now let's go cut it. Well, lucky for us, I have a piece of 4-inch cast iron in the truck that's exactly 14 3/4. So I'll have to save the cutting episode for the next viewing. So there's the piece just laying in the truck, and it's 14 3/4. So that happens in plumbing from time to time. You have a piece the exact size you need. So we're back in the pit here, and I'm going to slide these two metal clamps on the piece, and we're going to tighten these with a wrench called a torque wrench, and these are 60 inch-pound heads by 5/16.